Hello everyone and welcome to my Flashback to the 80s video. I'm so excited to finally be able to share with you some of my modest collection of comic books, and I thought we'd kick off with just some old nostalgic 80s stuff that I had from when I was a kid. I'm also super excited that I just recently got my very first graded comic, my first ever CGC slab that I've ever owned. I've never owned one before, so I'm super excited to show you what I got. I'm gonna save that to the end. I've always seen them, at the cons and everything. I've never sent anything off to be graded. I've never picked one up at a con. I've always eyed them, but just never got one. So I finally treated myself here recently and got my first one. So I'll show you that one at the end. But for now, I've got a stack of comics to go through, so let's get started with some flashback stuff. Casper. What can I say? I was a kid, right? Yeah, this is just a Casper comic. Probably one of the first comics I bought. I don't know. I don't even know what year this is. Harvey Comics. Yeah. So, Casper. I was a kid. What can I say? Oh, most of these I bought directly off the stand, off the rack or the newsstand. Adventures of Bayou Billy. This was a video game for the original Nintendo, the NES. And they put out a comic book series that was based off the video game. And he's kind of a Cajun, maybe Indiana Jones type of guy. I don't know how to describe it, but it was a fairly hard game to play from what I remember. And being from Louisiana, he's a Cajun, I was very much interested in this. So if you can see that, that's issue number 2. I don't have one. I have 2. I've only got issue 2 and issue 5. I think it was a 5-issue limited series, and I only got the 2. Just picking these up off the, like I said, off the newsstand rack, or the we used to have spinner racks that we used to get them off of, and that's how I got them. So I love this cover right here. This is just one of my favorite covers. Really cool. Bayou Billy. Here's one you might recognize. Unfortunately, it's not in great shape, but I mean, it's still together. Voltron number 1. I believe actually this one has a cut. I don't think you can see it in the video, but there it's actually torn right here. There's a cut that happened to the cover, so I remember there was something bad about this one. Like I said, a lot of these comics that I bought when I was a kid, they were just loose in boxes or in a crate, literally for decades, in some cases over 30 years. I just recently started bagging everything and bagging all the stuff up, trying to preserve what I have. Here's Voltron number 2. Again, it's kind of it's got some cover issues, but I was a kid, I was reading them. That's how I got them, or that's how they ended up after reading them. So I got 1 and 2 for Voltron. Move on. Silverhawks. Another cartoon from the 80s. Silverhawks number 5. I think this is the only Silverhawks I was able to get. But that one's in pretty good shape. Some are in better shape than others. Thundercats number 3. I know there's a lot of hype about Thundercats right now. They're talking about a live action movie. I don't think I've got issue 1 or 2, unfortunately. I think this is the earliest one I managed to get. As a kid, you pick these up whenever you get a chance to go to the grocery store with your mom, and got what I could get when they were out, and I wasn't always able to get complete runs. I have number 4. I have number 5. I have number 6. So just as I say, I wasn't able to get complete runs. I did get those in a row. Also have 7. Let me move these. I have 8. And that's it. That's all my Thundercats. So I do also have a pile of comics that's still at my mother's house. She lives like 6 hours away, something like that. So unfortunately, I can't really get to those right now. But I do have at least a stack of comics that are still over there. Mad Balls #1. Remember, I don't know if anybody remembers Mad Balls. These were kind of like Nerf type balls, and they were in these weird shapes, like based off Garbage Pail Kids, I believe, or at least inspired by Garbage Pail Kids. So, can you call yourself a true comic book collector if you don't have this in your collection? I mean, come on. It's great, right? 1 and 2. Number 3. 3-issue limited series. Just to give you an idea of how crazy the 80s were, this was a 3-issue limited series, and they sold so well that they didn't stop with issue number 3. They didn't even stop with issue number 4. They didn't even stop with issue number 5. I have up to issue 8. I don't know how many more they made, but we got 8 issues of Mad Balls from the 80s. This is how popular these things actually were, at least for a short period of time. You should all know what this is. Turtles. This is the only Turtles comic I have here. I know I've got more Turtles books from the cartoon back in the day. I think I even got issue number 1. I know I've got some Mask comic books that I don't have here. So there's definitely a few more comics in that stack at my mom's house. I hope to go and get one day. This is the movie. The movie. Yeah. That. Oh, here we go. More cartoon converted to adaptation. That's the word I was looking for. Movie adaptation. That's the movie adaptation. Thank you. My brain works. Pirates of Darkwater. I think this was technically 90s, but close enough, right? Actually, a really good cartoon. I've got 2 issues. I've got 1 and 4. And this was one that was just ended too early. Really impressive voice cast. Go look them up on IMDb and check out the voice cast. A very impressive cast of voice actors that was on the show. Unfortunately, it didn't last as long as it should have. Another 90s, but still really cool. Biker Mice from Mars. Another cartoon adaptation. Hard to find. Here's another one that's kind of having some talk about. Howard the Duck. This is number 2 in a 3-issue limited series. This is the only one I've got. I do not have the other 2, but I've got that one. So, you know, I remember the movie that they made, the live-action movie. It was not great, but it is what it is. Here's a video game adaptation. Double Dragon, the comic book. Issue number 1. I seriously doubt this will ever fetch anything high. I really don't know, but I've got it. Here's an interesting one. There's a story behind this one. Starr, the Crystal Warrior, issue number 8. And this was a toy line that they put out, and I believe there was a cartoon as well, and of course the comic book series. And I believe Nightcrawler actually appears, at least he's on the cover, I believe, of one of the earlier issues. This is a Marvel run. And the interesting thing about this issue is notice the skull at the bottom of the comic book. This is a band called Danzig, named after the lead singer Glenn Danzig, who is a big comic book fan. And he used this skull from this comic book on his band logo. He actually used it on a different band prior to this one, and then he started using it on the previous band, then continued to use it with his solo band just named Danzig. I hope you can see that. But that's where he gets the skull from. This is actually so well known, it's referred to by people as just the Danzig skull, but that's where he got it from. The skull doesn't appear anywhere in the comic at all. It's only on the cover. But just kind of an interesting little bit of music history there. Okay, still in Marvel here, I have some. These might be gaining some traction these days because of the series that's going to be coming out. What If series. I've only got a couple of these. But I always thought these were interesting. This is what if Iron Man lost the Armor Wars? What if Wolverine was Lord of the Vampires? Jean Grey and Punisher. A lot of these don't have very happy endings because they can get away with that with the what ifs. And then what if Spider-Man had kept his cosmic powers? So, interesting comics there. Those are fun. Chuck Norris, issue number 1. There was actually a cartoon based off, I think this was the adaptation of the cartoon. Chuck Norris Karate Commandos with the K. That's issue number 1. I've also got issue number 2 and issue number 3. I vaguely remember the cartoon. There was also a toy line with these guys because I remember the little ninja guys. But it didn't last very long. Again, I do not have the number 1, but Masters of the Universe number 2. Masters of the Universe number 3, Hordak. Masters of the Universe number 4, also Hordak. Masters of the Universe number 5, I don't remember what that's called. There still is over on the cover. Masters of the Universe number 7, this is the first appearance of Ninjor. This is where he gets introduced. He's a ninja guy. Masters of the Universe number 8, Mosquito guy, I don't remember his name on there. Mosquitor, that's it. Everything ends in or, huh? Masters of the Universe number 10. Masters of the Universe number 12. And that's the end of my Masters of the Universe. So, moving on. I got a few more to go through here. Another cartoon I got adapted to a comic. The Inhumanoids. This was an interesting cartoon. This guy's called Decompose. And it was one of those cartoons where the bad guys were kind of the focus. Like that's what you wanted to play with, the toys, were the bad guy toys. These things were like huge. And you could get the good guys, you could get the Earth Core guys, but the only reason you got the Earth Core guys was to make the big monsters, eat them and stuff. So, issue number 3, I've got 1, 2, and 3 here. And I've also got issue 4, so I've actually got 1 through 4. So, Meltar, Decompose, that's Decompose, and I can't remember his name. It's not on the cover. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, those were the 3 big guys that you could get the big toys of. Issue number 4 of Peter Porker, the Spectacular SpiderHam. If you've seen the Into the Multiverse, you're probably familiar with SpiderHam by now. He actually started out in the back of a Spider-Man comic as a mini comic, and I'll get to those in another video. Where he started out, but then he became so popular they spun him off and gave him his own series published by Starr Comics. This is issue 4. I do not have 1, 2, or 3, but it was pretty much it's just a big spoof of Spider-Man stuff. Here's issue 12. This is the famous homage to the Spider-Man No More cover. And then I've got issue number 16 where you've got Nick Fury, not Fury, and I don't remember Iron Mouse instead of Iron Man. I don't remember their names, but yeah, it was kind of a play on words, play on names, kind of punny thing. Okay, one more quick nostalgia thing I want to show you real quick. This is a mini guitar replica of a custom guitar. I'm going to try to get a close-up of this for you. Of a custom guitar of Nita Strauss. She is the guitar player for Alice Cooper. And this is a autographed picture of her with her guitar. It was custom made for her. That she plays. She made a mini replica of it and sold it, and this is the mini replica of the very same guitar she's got. It's also autographed on the back. I am not going to flip it around right now, but it does have her autograph on the back. It's limited and numbered, and I'll get a close-up of that for you to see. So now I'm so excited to show you my first ever Slab. When I was trying to decide what I wanted to get, you know, I knew it was my first one. It had to be something that was special to me. And I kind of had a few criteria that I went by. One, I'm just kind of a casual collector, so I'm on a bit of a budget, so it couldn't be too expensive. So right away that cut out a lot of, you know, a lot of grail items that I just can't afford right now. Two, I felt like it should be either a character or a book that was special to me, that meant something to me personally. And preferably it would be something that was done by an artist that I liked, one of my favorite artists. So as I thought about it, it became pretty clear. My favorite character is Wolverine. Like I said in the previous video, it's a bit cliche these days, but as a kid growing up in the early 80s, you know, he was still a relatively new character at the time. And, you know, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have movies with him in it and everything. So it was just the character that I really connected with early on as a kid, and it was just one of my favorite characters to read. If Wolverine was in it, I was almost positive to pick it up for any reason. So I knew it had to be a Wolverine, and it, like I said, my budget prevented me from getting like a Wolverine #1 from the early 80s. So that wasn't going to happen. So I started looking at recent ones, and if it was going to be recent, I wanted a 9.8. So I went to one of my favorite artists' website, Scott Campbell. He's one of my favorite current artists right now. I really like his work. I know he's done some work with Black Cat, and he did some like a Black Cat Wolverine one that I really liked. So I was trying to see what else he had, and I found one that was just absolutely perfect. It spoke to me. I had to get it, and this is my first ever Slab, the J. Scott Campbell Hunt for Wolverine, issue #1. This is the, I believe it's the Calgary Fan Expo exclusive cover. So you could only get it through the Fan Expo, either online or at the store, or at the actual convention. It's autographed at the bottom here, so it's a signature series. Let me go ahead and pull it out. I haven't even pulled it out of the plastic yet. So I just absolutely love this cover. The blue really pops. This one really spoke to me, and I had to have this one. So happy with this. There's 3 variant covers. There's the blue one, there's another one with the gold background, and then there's the sketch cover. I know a lot of people like sketch covers. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of the sketch covers. If I'm gonna, you know, look at artwork, I'd rather see the finished piece. But that's just me. So between the blue one and the gold one, I thought the blue one just kind of presented itself a little bit better. It would be nice to have both the blue and the gold side by side next to each other, but honestly, I don't think, you know, budget-wise, being a collector, casual collector, I don't think I'm going to be spending money on a second one of these. But I'm extremely thrilled to have this one. Let me take it out of this plastic, because this is still the J. Scott Campbell plastic from the store, from his website. So I still have not sent anything off to be graded yet. This was pre-graded, bought directly from the store. I actually got it at a discounted price. So I'm just so thrilled to have this. It presents so well. It's really a great piece of art. To have it autographed also on top of that is really great. Here's the back, Hunt for Wolverine exclusive cover. So I'm super duper thrilled to have this as my very first ever Slab, my first CGC Slab. I don't know what else to say about it. It's great. So I do have a stack of comics that I've kind of setting to the side that I'm probably going to send off to CGC at some point in the future. When I do that, I'll definitely be making a video about that and see what we get back. Some are going to be sent off hoping for high grades. Others are going to be sent off just because, you know, they're kind of special to me personally. Not necessarily for high grades, but just, you know, because I want to preserve them. But this one I'm so excited to have. So glad I could finally share it with everybody. And there you go. That's my first CGC slab. I know I've said that already, but there we go. So that's it. It's a pretty long video, I think. That's probably me rambling enough. Thanks again for watching. If you want to hit like or subscribe, always appreciated, never required. Have a great day. Stay safe. Collect what you love.